Chapter 46. Manit cut off his headlights and motor and coasted up to the base of one of the bridge's stone pillars. "There's a ladder there on the side of the pillar. You see it?" he said, pointing to the crumbling carvings. "It doesn't go all the way to the top, but it almost reaches. If you can just climb the last few feet, you can swing yourself up over the side. I'll stay down here and make sure nobody sees you from the water." Pong craned his head back to see the top of the bridge. "Okay," he said, swallowing down the dizzy feeling rising from his stomach. "Here I go." He swung his arms and jumped from the boat onto the pillar, grabbing the ladder with both hands. The metal ladder had rusted, which made it easy to grip. He left his sandals in Manit's boat, and his bare toes clung to the rough metal. The bridge wasn't nearly as high as the cave ledge he had leaped from, but he still didn't want to look down. He climbed past the time-worn carvings of dancers, and he imagined them whispering to him. "Keep going," they said. "Almost there." Pong slowed as he neared the top, rehearsing the words he planned to say to the governor. He didn't have much more time to get them straight. Something was happening up on the bridge. Someone was speaking in deep, rolling tones. It was the governor. But what was he saying? Pong couldn't make out his words. He climbed up faster. The governor stopped talking. Suddenly, a girl's voice cried out, "They do!" The crowd above Pong gasped as one. Something had happened. What was it? The girl said something else, but it was too quiet for Pong to understand. Pong had now reached the end of the ladder. He looked down. Surely Manit hadn't left him, but Pong couldn't see anything except the inky water beneath him. He heard the governor's voice again, briefly, and then he saw something he never imagined possible. The lights of Chitana went out. Pong stared, open-mouthed, at the eastern shore. The entire shoreline had gone dark. Above him, the crowd on the bridge cried out, and he heard anguished wails coming from the place where the city should be. The sight sent a tremor of dread through Pong. He had to hurry. The few orb lanterns that lined the bridge were still lit, and the gold orbs that the marchers carried cast just enough light for him to see where he was climbing. Slowly, Pong rose up on his toes and reached for the bridge railing. Using all his strength, he hauled himself up. Pong paused with his face peeking up over the side. There was enough light for him to see, but enough shadows to hide him. The crowd of marchers whispered worriedly. The governor stood a few yards to Pong's left, just west of the bridge's midpoint. The governor held both arms raised. He pointed his hand to the lamps above the bridge. He clenched his fist, snuffing the lights out, one by one. Pong quickly swung his legs up over the rail of the bridge and dropped onto the stone. The governor pushed his sleeves up to his elbows and raised his right hand out over the crowd. "You have made your choice." The governor glared at the crowd with cold certainty in his eyes. "You do not deserve my light." The air crackled. Pong's scalp tingled as his hair rose on end. In the governor's right palm, a huge ball of light began to swirl as blindingly bright as the center of a star. It swelled, bigger and bigger. People in the crowd cried out, but the bridge was too packed for anyone to run. The governor reared his arm back as if getting ready to hurl the enormous mass of light forward. Pong's heart sank. His plan wouldn't work. There would be no talking, no reasoning with this man. Not even summoning Father Cham's memory or showing him the bracelet would change his mind. The bracelet. Pong looked at the governor's left wrist. Yes, there it was. Something that no one else had noticed. Something that even Pong had failed to observe those 4 years ago when the governor had been only inches away. A braided bracelet identical to Ampai's, identical to his own. "May you bring the light back to Chitana." Pong knew what to do. Shielding his eyes against the bright glare, he rushed toward the governor. Before anyone could notice him, Pong seized the governor's wrist and held on.